Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to a brand new episode of the CryptoManiacs podcast here on the Glorious Hive
Number 2
blockchain.
for the year.
Number 2 for the year. Yeah, we're 2 for 2, man. We haven't missed a day yet for the show. It's good.
Impressive. I'm impressed.
I'm beside myself. I can't believe it.
How
Look
do
at
you
us.
do that? I'm not beside myself. I'm not in front of myself. I'm not behind myself.
You're in
Well,
yourself. No?
I guess so. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anywho, yeah, welcome to the show, folks. And
hey, you got a present before the show. You just found
dude, yeah, man,
some deep, dark Hive information. I think you should share with the audience because maybe they're oblivious like us.
Well, you were, because I asked you about it, and you're like,
They didn't know. I was
So-
oblivious.
I made this post on Hive yesterday, and I was saying, like, what we need in 2023, and the focus I really believe for adoption and more spreading of Hive and more users is mobile, a focus on mobile. And there's a whole bunch of apps that I use religiously on Hive, and one of them is ThreeSpeak, and that was one of the programs I said, hey, I would love to see a mobile app for ThreeSpeak. And everyone's like, yeah, man, oh, it's going to be great. Like, think of how big TikTok is. And imagine if we had a little, a mobile app and for ThreeSpeak. I'm like, yeah. And then Starkers comes along literally 10 minutes ago and says, oh, dude, by the way, we have mobile apps. It's in the test flight app on iOS, but here it is, man. And you can't see this on the audio, obviously, but I'm literally showing it. This is the ThreeSpeak app. And there's Cal flexing.
John, if you're going to show it, don't have NSFW stuff on the screen.
What, Cal is NSFW? Like, he's flexing there, man. He's like,
I know, Cal.
Yeah.
Cal showing off his guns. He doesn't have his McDonald's hat on, though.
Yeah, true.
Have you noticed his Twitter handle? He has a McDonald's hat on. I'm like, I don't know if this is the best impression you want to
especially you, Cal. Cal, you're doing better than anyone that I know in crypto, so...
Yeah, and you're sitting there with a McDonald's hat on as a project leader.
Anyways, big shout out to ThreeSpeak. This is great. So it's on.
Now, is that only iOS? Did he say? Or
no, Android too. Android too. I think it's probably a working model on Android. This is obviously a working model, but it's in test flight. So it's not an official app yet on iOS, but they have the app in test flight. So it's a lot of testing, and I can't wait to dive into this. So I know it's kind of like, a bonus for everyone. So check out my blog post or go to the ThreeSpeak Discord and see if you guys can download this. And I'm pretty sure you can even upload with it. It's not just I haven't, like here it is. It's beautiful. Just your Hive posting key and you have your username. Bam, easy peasy. Love it. Good stuff. It's great. Hello, my path to fire. Welcome.
And we had 2 weeks of Starkers on the show. And the week before that, although he was talking about Ragnarok Dan, and they never mentioned this little tidbit of information.
Well, you didn't know it was there. And
I have no idea. I don't do much on mobile, so I don't pay a lot of attention to mobile.
Right. This
I'm
is
old.
Great. I can't wait to dig into this after the show. So we got questions and answers, man. You excited for this?
Are we going to do it, or are you just going to, like, as you're going to throw out a question, let me answer for 15 minutes, and you're going to play with the mobile app? Are you? Look at him. You can't put the phone down. He wants to play with it. It's like a new toy on Christmas Day.
This is literally like a brand new toy for me, so I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Fire off the questions. Let's see how intelligent either our audience is or us. We are.
Oh, well, it's definitely not us, man, because look
I would agree with that, but we can pretend.
2023, are you ready? And I said, I suck. I literally got this up 12 hours ago, and people showed up. So big shout out to the community. The maniacs showed up, even though I didn't. So thank you guys.
We know where the weak point is.
Exactly. I am looking forward to some games on Hive so that we can get some onboarding from the side. Question: do you think AI would destroy writers on Hive, or do we still get a chance to write and get rewarded as human beings? That was the big thing going into the end of 2022 was the AI stuff, the chat GPT. What do you think? Do you think AI is going to destroy us
I
little peons or what?
I think this is what we talk about all the time. It comes down to reputation and not the little number next to your damn name. It's who you are.
Right.
And I don't give a shit what the hell comes out over the next 3 years. When I go to the Django account and I see what's written there, I know what John wrote. I know how he writes. I know it's him. I know it's not a bot. I know he puts together his own stuff because it's been that way for 5 years.
Mhm.
You go to they call me Dan. If he writes something, it's him. There are certain people who have the reputation who, if they take the time, and this is where we talk about week in and week out, consider yourself a business. Take time to build your brand. And if you
Right.
become known as somebody who churns out content that's you write, you're not plagiarizing, and AI is probably not much different than the plagiarization. I mean, they're different, but it's the same type of stuff. It's like, well, is that really stuff you wrote, John, or you just copying and pasting? Is it something you wrote, John,
Right.
or do you have in the chatbot write it? It's the same type of scenario, just different questions. But the people you depend on, rely on, follow, focus upon, and enjoy, their stuff is going to be the stuff you continue to reward because you've been doing it for X number of years. And so
Yeah.
this is where it comes back to your brand, who you are, making yourself known, and not, if somebody shows up, a year from now, and let's say the technology's there, and they write these super duper posts, you don't know who the hell they are, but they're using, the next version of GPT, who's going to reward them? It's like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, it's the old thing, and I mean, I was, in the music industry before I got into this crazy crypto and online business stuff, and one of the things I noticed was how hard the industry fought technology. I'm talking Napster and LimeWire and all this stuff. Like, they
Mhm.
literally fought it. They fought it to the brink of destruction, and never bet against technology. That's what I've learned. So you've got to roll with it. It doesn't mean you got to embrace every single thing. Again, like, I'm not a big TikTok guy. I know TikTok is huge. I've never downloaded the app. I'm not going to ignore it, but I'm also not going to be like, I'm going to use this. So be aware of this stuff, know that it's there, and then kind of learn and adapt to what's going to be presented. And I think people will
Well,
be fine. But
let me present a different point of view on rewards. We all know you write Gone with the Wind. If you don't have a following, it doesn't get upvoted. You can write the best damn article ever written,
right,
and it doesn't matter
right,
because this is social media. You have to engage. You have to interact. You have
good
to
point.
develop a following. And let me ask you a question, John. Are the rewards on your articles from the article you wrote, or are the rewards because of your dedication, A, to Hive, and B, to the different communities or tribes that are rewarding you?
Hmm.
So I look at it as a situation where who do I upvote? And where do I upvote? Well, you all know I use Leo Finance, but who do I upvote? I upvote posts on Leo Finance, both in the long form section and now on threads.
Yep.
And so the people who are in threads, they're getting a little bit of, I don't do it with much. I do it with like 3%. So I do it the same as I do a comment, but they're getting a little bit of an upvote and they're getting them over and over because they're there. They're dedicated. Those people, when I scroll down the recent feed, I tend to pick up. I mean, it's a lot of times it's a heading, but a lot of times it's the author. I see one of John's posts as I'm scrolling down. I open it because
Right.
I know and see his work. And yes, he's on my follow feed, but I don't even look at that. I just scroll through the recent section, and this is how I pick up new authors. But I also am apt to see the ones I recognize. And how do I recognize them? Because they're posting regularly to Leo Finance. They're posting comments in the posts that I write. They're putting up comments in the posts that I read. So, they're showing up on CryptoManiacs. They're asking questions here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're on my radar.
Mm.
And so when I see their name, it's like, okay, I see Dem Press. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I know the name Dem Press, and so I think that's really where, the social aspect of all of this and the dedication aspect and the branding aspect. And I wrote a post a couple weeks ago. You want to be successful on Hive. It's equivalent to your dedication. Show commitment. You want to capture the attention of a whale. So if they call me Dan, go post a comment in every single one of his posts that he puts up for the next year. You will get his attention and engage with him.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. And so, I don't know if you can say that Hive, the entire ecosystem, and you can take it from Hive reward pool and push it out to the different reward pools, CTP, Leo, whatever. You put together the greatest post and post it in CTP. Somebody may upvote it. They see it. They say it's a really good post. John comes along. Hey, that's a really good post. Somebody new. I want to reward that. But what is mostly going to happen with the big CTPers? They're going to see a post from somebody's name they recognize, and that's who they're going to upvote
Yeah.
because that person has a track record of they're not going to be spamming, they're not putting up stuff, they know their quality posts, their posts that are relevant to CTP, and I'm not you see my name in CTP, I'm not putting up a blog about photography. I'm
Right.
not throwing up a picture with 3 words that says, "Hey, give me votes for this." It.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that's really what people do. And the more dedication and loyalty, and I'll go to my poster child for this, Jimmy Adamas. I see Jimmy all over the place. This morning I saw his post in threads. I upvote the threads, then I go and I start scrolling through the recent section. There's the damn post. So I open the
Yeah.
post and read the post and upvote the post. I voted him twice in 2 different places. And this was before I had my first cup of coffee, and I already seen Jimmy twice. It's like I
Mm.
can't get away from the guy. That's what it takes.
That's it's the whole power of people and the
Oh,
community
by
and the
the way, then you
relationship.
want another you want to just to finish that thought? Because I missed a part. Then I
Yeah.
open up views, and like the second or third view that I click, it's
It's
that same
Jimmy.
damn post from Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So I see
Jimmy's
him
a
30
beast, man.
freaking times.
Dude's a machine. If I had like a tenth of the energy he had, I'd be doing okay.
No, but my
Um,
point is he wrote one post, he threw it in threads, and it showed up on view. So I see this same post 3 times.
yep.
And I'm just picking on Jimmy because he's all over the place. But that's the opportunity here for everybody. And I know Jimmy's not using a chatbot to write his posts.
Mm. The internet marketers call that repurposing your content. And Jimmy is savvy on that. Thank you for the question, DevPress. Appreciate it. Next up is Yakingo. Here's our market question. Ready for it? Do you think the trend in the market will change this year? Absolutely, yes and no.
Okay, this is where we put the intermission sign up with the elevator music. So while John goes and checks his Bollinger Bands.
RSI.
Oh,
Love
you're RSI for 2023. Bollinger Bands are so last year, aren't they?
dude. It's funny. I was viewing
John, you
yesterday.
can't Bollinger Band. It's after Labor Day, for Pete's sake. Come
Dude,
on, get with the
it's way
time.
above. So I'm viewing yesterday, and there was this guy. I noticed this post, and I had to comment because the guy was like, "Oh, it's really depressing, and the prices are depressing, and Hive is depressing, and just like the woe is me." And he had some stake. He had like I think it was like 5,000 Hive powered up or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, yeah, if you're looking at the price, you're gonna be depressed. But I mean, you look at the price of Bitcoin, especially this time last year, you're depressed. I mean, if you're looking at price alone, you're gonna get depressed. It's markets. It's complete
You
insanity.
should
There's
see
no rhyme
fucking
and reason
Tesla.
to it. It's stupidity to look at the price. Now, I challenge them. Well, I'm using the apps every day. I'm accumulating Hive. My stake is growing. I'm not depressed at all. And it was just like, then the excuse of, well, it's the price and we're invested in this and we want to get a return. I'm like, well, yeah, but you're also investing in the thing that we just mentioned with DevPress. You're investing in the relationships with people, because those people you're building relationships with, they potentially could upvote you. Now all of a sudden you're getting more and more upvotes. And then when things start turning around, you're not making half a hive, you're making 5 hive a day. All of a sudden, what you've 5 extra money. I mean, this is the mentality of always being attracted to price and attached to it. You're gonna lose your mind. Like, don't do it. Don't even, but like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. Great, it went to $5. We're making lots of money. Okay, but has anything changed? No. You're still showing up. You're still engaging. And you're still here providing value to the blockchain. You do that, prices, yeah, it doesn't make your journey any more rewarding or less rewarding, because you're still here and you're still enjoying yourself. But again, it's crypto and people want green candles. So what can you do? That's my
Well,
rant.
this was my post this morning, ironically, and it's very simple. Get rid of the fucking investor mindset. It's a cancer.
Mm,
Get a business mindset.
it's good.
And I'll give you an example. The local plumber, the owner of the local plumbing company, the only reason he or she gives a shit about the value of that plumbing company is 2 instances. A, when they go to sell it, or B, if they go for a loan, because then
Right.
what it's appraised at will deal with the loan. Other than that, they don't give a shit. Oh my God, my plumbing company's worth $3 less today than it was yesterday. No, they don't care. They care about business. They care
Right.
about how many new customers they get. They care about what is happening with their revenues. They care about their profit margins. They care about the cost of the supplies. They care about what their employees are doing, how quickly the jobs are being taken care of, for the customer satisfaction. All of this shit that goes into business doesn't go into investing. Oh, the price of hives down. Who gives a shit? If you're building a business, you don't give a crap. Yes, the price of hive has an impact if you're going to sell the damn thing. It has no impact on the amount you can post online in terms of your resource credits. It has no impact in terms of the business you're building, the brand you're building, the engagement you're doing. Yes, you have to get more hive or enough hive so you get enough resource credits to engage like you want to. So if you want to do 100 comments a day, you better have enough resource credits. But this is the difference between building and investing. And I see this all the time. I most of you know I'm very big with Tesla and investing in that. And it's an absolute joke to see these Wall Street people losing their asses and say Tesla needs to do a stock buyback because the stock price is crashing. Oh, Tesla's off 70% this year. What's wrong with Tesla? When they just announced an average record quarter, 405 sales, quarter over quarter up 18%, which was their previous record high. And everybody says, oh, this company, what's going on? Oh, demand's
Mm,
waning. When they're bringing out a new product next year, they just hit the market with the semi. And it's like, but the stock price, but the price is going down, but the Bollinger Bands, but this and that.
yeah.
Elon's over at Twitter. And it's like, are you fucking people serious? Stop looking at the next fucking metric ever to come out, whatever it is, oh, your earnings, or oh, your vehicle deliveries, or oh, your iPhone sales, or whatever. Where the fuck is this shit going to be in 2 or 3 years? And that's what
Mm,
John and I have been saying for fucking years. We've been saying it regardless of the market price. We've been saying it in our writings on the blockchain for years. For the last 2 years of this show, we've been saying it on air, and it's the same damn thing. Where the hell are you going to be? Where the fuck are you going to be in 2 or 3 years? And if you want to sit and bitch about the price, go to fuck to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to wherever you want. I don't
mm.
care. But it's time to stop coddling these fucking people and saying, oh my God, this is this and this sucks. Well, if it sucks, go jump off a bridge. No skin off my nose. If you're here, get serious about it. Understand you have a fucking opportunity like you've never had before in your life. Either take advantage of the opportunity or go to your job and shut the fuck up when they give you a 1% raise simply because, well, we can only afford another quarter an hour for you. That's the way it is. If you want to be in the world of abundance, which cryptocurrency is, which business ownership is, that's where it's at. But nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody says it was, oh, I just showed up, everybody hand me shit. That's not how it works. The only one who can't be fired, and John's run his business for years. The only one who can't be fired is the business owner. But guess what? The only one who can't quit is the business owner. You're married, son of a bitch, unless you walk away from it. And if you walk away from it, then it goes under, then you're done. But that's the way it is. And you stay up late at night thinking about this. You're in bed and you're tossing and turning because you got shit going on in your mind and you have thoughts. And, that's what business ownership's about. People want a piece of the pie. Hive's a piece of the pie. Now shut the hell up and get busy, because that's what it comes down to. And by the way, Bone's going to love this episode.
That was a great rant, dude. That was fantastic. I give you a good strong 9 out of 10 on that one. So
I'll try to improve before the end of the show, John.
Yes, perfect.
To meet your expectations.
Well, yes, we'll see. We'll see if any of these other questions get you fired up. Here's one from Chappelle. What do you think about the attitude of the node runners who are not at all involved in Hive blogs and who prefer to vote for the HDB funder rather than for the users who give them witness votes? I mean, this is what I think. I think that it's a big, huge party, and one of the main reasons I've never tried to do a proposal is because I'm not kidding myself. And I know that I could write the greatest proposal in the world. I'll get some really cool support, but I don't base my life on at all around expecting things. Kind of what you just said, Task. Like, I learned that at a very early time here on Hive, that if you're expecting votes, if you're expecting to get a proposal funded, if you're expecting whales to love you and cherish you, and it ain't gonna happen. You literally, and this is, I guess, maybe a business lesson, why entrepreneurs might do really good at this whole crypto thing, because we're not really waiting for permission. We're not really waiting for a vote. We're not waiting for a proposal to be funded. We're gonna do it. It was fantastic yesterday. I did this post, and Like2 came by, and Like2 was absolutely brilliant. They're like, we self-funded this. We have millions of Hive power. We didn't get a single dollar from the HBD fund. We are the DHF. We don't want it. We want to fund our own project. That's entrepreneurship. So do I concern myself about who votes for what? And the HDB stabilizer, it's not in my ability to care, because I can't do anything about it, even if I did care. So you provide value to the blockchain. That's what you do. You don't worry about what everyone else is doing. You worry about what you can do, and you worry about where your votes go. And if you're not happy with giving a vote to someone who doesn't seem to be supporting you, take the vote away. That's the beautiful thing about DPoS. So yeah, I know that's not necessarily what he's asking, but for me, I learned at a very early stage at this that you can't expect things from people on Hive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's just two things I add to that, and I've said it on air. I don't know who the hell votes for my stuff. I don't look. So it's like, what people are doing is what people are doing. What I do is irregardless of what other people do. So I write the content, I post the content, not looking for votes, not expecting votes, not trying to cater to particular individuals, because I have no idea who the hell votes my stuff up anyway. That's number one. Number two, going back to the proposal system and the HBD stabilizer, inherent in the question is the presumption that you feel, and you're fine to have this belief, but it doesn't mean it's right, that the distribution based upon the reward pool is the most important thing on Hive.
Right.
What I mean by that is, many people feel that HBD stabilizer is very, very important to Hive because it touches upon the financial aspect of this ecosystem. And the stable coin, the payment coin, the um, medium of exchange coin, many feel is very, very important. And establishing a track record of stability with the price, which HBD stabilizer does, is crucial. Now, you're free to disagree with that assessment,
Mhm.
but that's where a lot of people come from. Because if this blockchain is going to fulfill what many of us believe it can, HBD could be a difference maker. And the reason for that is show me another blockchain that has their base layer coin that is a stable coin. We have two. We have the value capture coin Hive, and we have the stable coin. So to sit there and say, well, I vote for, pick a consensus witness, ABC consensus witness.
Mm.
I vote for them with my witness vote. So thus they should support me.
Right.
Thus they should support my content. Thus they should support my proposal. Well, and like Marky always says, we do vote for a lot of shit. We give stupid money away for stupid shit. Okay, that we know happens, and it's been going on since the hard fork two years ago.
Mhm.
But there's also a lot of good shit that's been funded. Our good friend of the show, Brian of London, he's not funded right now, which I think is a crime against humanity or a crime against my humanity, because he is doing some absolutely phenomenal stuff. Now that doesn't mean this is permanent. This go around, he's going to have to, focus on doing things on the shoestring budget. He'll have another proposal, and he's got funded in the past. I believe he'll get funded again. It's just for whatever reason he didn't get it this time. That's what happens. But like John says, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
What can you control? You can control your next post. You can control the number of words you put in your next post. You can control the number of comments. You can control where you put your upvotes. And yes,
Exactly.
it's in your control to change your witness votes. And I'll give you a suggestion. If you want to change one of those consensus witnesses because you don't like what they're voting on with their proposals or how they're using their voting stake, vote for CTP. They certainly take your witness vote. Vote for Leo. Vote for Three Speak. There's a lot of others you can vote for who are out there supporting members of the community.
Mm.
It depends on what you feel is important. And when you start to look at some of the old guard witnesses, if you will, many of them make no secret about their belief in HBD and the need to really start establishing that. They're open about it.
There you go. It's a good question. Thank you for it. My Path to Fire, he's here in the audience as well. He wants to know, can we expect any change in the business world in 2023? A further move towards DAOs, structures, and crypto adoption? That's part one. And part two, should we be worried about the layoffs of crypto companies like Huobi? I hope they rot in hell. Weren't they part of that whole Justin Sun thing? Isn't that Justin Sun's little exchange?
No, I don't know. He's not Wobie. He's is he Wob? No, what the no,
well, he's a pinned tweet on their main site. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. I don't use Huobi. I know people. I didn't use FTX. I don't use crypto exchanges. I literally the only time I'll onboard stuff is if I'm buying crypto from Coinbase and then dumping it into Hive, or I'm taking it out and cashing out on crypto.com. That's it. I don't trade. So for me, should I be worried about it? I don't know. I mean, it's because people are attached to price, people will be worried about it. But use case, Hive, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I don't know.
Are you worried about your shopping at Amazon because Amazon's laying off 18,000 people? I mean, are you worried about Twitter because Twitter laid off all those people? Have you noticed a difference in the usability of Twitter? Probably not.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Facebook because Meta's laying off people left and right? I don't use Facebook, but I will guarantee you in the last 2 months since that started, you probably haven't noticed much difference in your Facebook usage.
Yeah.
Companies lay people off all the time. And crypto gets worse because of the simple fact that a lot of times, because of the payment system being done in crypto, when the prices crash, that makes it harder for those entities to pay their bills. But Splinterlands laid people off, and a lot of people are losing their shit. And it's like,
Mm.
why? What was it? Okay, the dev team may have been reduced, but doesn't mean development stopped.
Mhm.
Um, doesn't mean the game, was unplayable. Doesn't mean anything stopped that made the game great. Now, you could make the argument, which I've seen some people are starting to do, that says some of their changes, not related to layoffs, but some of the changes are adversely affecting the game. And that's a different discussion altogether. But the
Yeah.
layoffs had really no impact on the game, on the ecosystem, and on the roadmap. The only thing is maybe it slows the roadmap down a little because you have less people to fill those roles. But outside of that, so I'm with John. I don't give a flying fuck about Wobie. I don't even know where it is or who uses it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, the Winklevoss are laying off people. Do I really give a shit?
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
No.
Goldman Sachs laid off 8% of their workforce. Do I really care? No. Now, obviously, if you're one of the people laid off, that sucks. But does it affect my life? Does it affect crypto? Does Goldman Sachs laying off people affect the stock market or the investment banking world? No. So why? I mean, we've seen layoffs at different times. We've seen companies go under. I mean, you know, it happens. Does that affect the industry? It affects token price, like John said, the markets, but does it really affect anything? No.
Mm. Well, what do you think about a move towards DAO structures and crypto adoption for businesses?
Uh, Crypto adoption for existing businesses, that's going to be very slow, and that's years. That's not a 2023 thing. You need a lot of regulation and legalities and all that shit. And of course, going back to the local plumber who I just mentioned, odds are he or she has no idea about any of this crap. Um, Regulation within the industry, if we get regulation in the industry, you could see a move. But the problem with DAOs, as Dan and Starkers keep alluding to, is if you have a DAO built on a centralized base layer, what do you really have? You're not protected. So yeah, you're protected maybe in your DAO, but if all of a sudden, we'll just use the one Ethereum node operator. If all of a sudden one of the alphabet companies knocks on their door and says, "Hey, that DAO over there, get rid of them, whack them, make sure they can't transact," well, all of a sudden they're frozen.
Yeah.
Um, so again, I think really, oh, shit, I'm trying to remember who wrote it. He wrote a great post. I tweeted it out this morning um, about decentralization. I think, and maybe this ties into the DAO idea, but I think overall decentralization is going to be a talking point, a major talking point for 2023. I think
Mhm.
it's getting to the point where the censorship resistance that Matt talked about the last couple of weeks and what's going on there and all the stuff surrounding that, I think it's going to really start coming to a head. So could that feed into the DAO concept? I think it could. The thing with DAOs is we have to be very careful. Is it a DAO or is it just a digital organization?
Mm.
And I remember Raul Powell talking about how he's tried to think and tore his brain apart how to turn whatever the name of his company is into a DAO. And I'm sitting there saying, you can't.
Mm.
It's not a DAO. It's a digital organization. It's not a DAO. So, the DHF is a DAO. You can set things up as DAOs, but they better be DAOs from the beginning. And, you know, that goes back to that control, that power, that pre-mind, that I want most of this. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to do because it goes against human nature.
There you go. Good stuff. Thank you for the question. My path to fire. David Armstrong is up. Good to see him. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, sir. And this is going to be a fun little question. What do you think of projects adding new tokens to change the project's perceived use case? For example, Splinterlands DECB. But I also see this with other projects as well on Hive platform where the project is trying to get more publicity or marketing. Okay. Well, I mean, if you've been reading any of my stuff over the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I've basically been slowly exiting Splinterlands. And it's not that I don't think that Splinterlands is going to be a massive, massive, massive win down the road. I have every belief I think it will be. But things like this is what just makes me go, okay, let me step back until they figure things out. Let them do whatever they're going to do because of things like this. I've seen this in entrepreneurship for 20 plus years, and I'm going to tell you how it worked in entrepreneurship. The idea was set up a program, and when you launched a program, that's when you made the most money because you could get the launch hype, the excitement. People are pumped up, they're fired up. And what would happen? The excitement would die down. So instead of the company trying to work with what they had, work with their community that they've built, what they would do is launch another program. And the excitement would, the euphoria of a launch and seeing all those PayPal receipts coming into your inbox was intoxicating. But what would happen after a couple of weeks? They would die down. So instead of focusing on what they got, they launched another one. And it's this rinse and repeat thing that I have seen in 20 plus years of business ownership. People, that's why Click Track Profit has remained for 15 years. It's not the sexiest thing in the world, but why are we going to reinvent it? Because we think that that's abusing our members. If we're going to launch, like, look at Listeners. Listeners could have technically been a brand new program. We didn't. We kept the brand. We kept the memberships. We just put things into it. So I think this could be taught for, and again, like obviously Splinterlands is this successful entity. They're more successful in a day than I am in a lifetime. So take it a grain of salt. But I've seen this happen for decades now, where it's never let's work on what we've got. It's let's just launch something new because that'll get everyone excited, and then everyone's going to go to that new thing. And then when the situation dies down and people start asking questions, they've totally, like, Voucher is gone to, Voucher was this thing that they launched to solve the first problem they had with the DEC getting off peg. And what happened there? So it's not just Splinterlands, and I'm not just picking on it happens across the board. Instead of focusing on what they've got, they say, let's add a new token. Let's add something new to get people excited. It's exactly what you said, David. It's a publicity and marketing ploy to get attention to their new shiny object. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, I don't follow Splinterlands close enough, but I can speak to the general nature of it. And it all comes back to the same thing. And it's the same concept with token burn. Why I think token burns are total bullshit. Because if you burn it and, well, we got great tokenomics and we got great this and we're burning all of this and most of our stuff is burned. And it's like, yeah, but you got no business. Right. So if you burn all the tokens down to one and we got one token left and it's worth 0. Well, that's real fucking good.
Yeah.
It comes back to building value. And building value in your token means value capture. You need a token to capture the value. Well, if you have 18 tokens and they're all languishing in there, they have no value. And I'm not talking price, but no value because you're going in many different directions. Then you want to add another one. Like you said, why are you doing that? Either A, it's the hype cycle, or B, it's because you don't know what you're fucking doing. One of those two. And so it was like Leo Glossary or Leo Finance, excuse me, shit canned the idea of a project blank token because they realized they had enough. They realized that they have to build the value for Leo. So even though it was under the Leo umbrella and you add a project blank token, now, yes, technically blank could feed into Leo and make that more valuable, but To do that, you have to get the users. You have to become big enough. And it's very difficult when you have 500 daily users. It's not going to happen. People get spread too thin. And then you throw in Cub, you throw in Polycub, and you throw all this other shit on top. You end up diluting everything. And so that's where, and if you take the tokenomics aside, and I can't speak to Splinterlands, but if we take tokenization aside and we look at Leo Finance as a business and get rid of the tokens and say that doesn't exist, are they doing things that make business sense? They are. They're starting to, because they're talking about growth rates. They're talking about threads and how this is going to be a central piece of their puzzle. They're talking about Cub and what's going on with Cub and revenue generation there. They're talking about this new arbitrage bot, or the new version of their arbitrage bot, which is going to go into the internal exchange and deal with the Hive and HBD in addition to doing it on the external exchanges. Again, revenue generation, bridge money, liquidity pool filling, all of this stuff that are in these different areas of either social media with threads or finance with Cub and ultimately Polycub. These are basic business building decisions. It's not, well, let's throw out another token and see if we can get, a whole bunch of money or get a whole bunch of people excited or a whole bunch of this, that, or the other thing. And that's the real problem. And that's what I've been saying for 6 months now, at least. We need a shitload more of entrepreneurs. We need people to look at themselves as a business, look at themselves as a brand, get involved in a project and show their dedication to that project as being part of the business growth. And yes, a lot of these are cooperative. So it's not like you go into CTP. If you're holding the CTP token, you have a piece of that business, if you will, because you own the CTP token. If you have Hive, you have a piece of the Hive business, if you will. Or if you want to use the economy, you have a piece of the Hive economy. And because of that, just like the US economy, the Canadian economy, the global economy, the El Salvador economy, we all are a part of it. But to do that, we need economic productivity. You got to do something. You got to produce something. So produce something for CTP, produce something for Leo Finance, produce something for Hive, produce something for STEM Geeks, do something for Splinterlands. Now, Splinterlands may be a little difficult because, it's a game. So it doesn't have that openness. But John, I asked you probably a month or two ago. I said, John, of all the conversations we've had, we've been almost 2 years on Leo Gloss. Wow, I keep saying that on CryptoManiacs. You've been on this blockchain 5 years. You're very out front with CTP. You, Eliana, and Blaine are the CTP infrastructure and the crew. You do these weekly shows. How many people have gotten on Discord or DM'd you directly and said, you know what? You guys are doing some good things. I see that you got more things than you have people. How can I help? And you said, nobody. Zero.
It was Eliana, and then she basically became our partner.
Yeah, but nobody. And it's like, and you see that all over the place. And it's like, but the bitchers, they're out 1,000, 10,000 to 1. It's like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. So somebody left a comment in one of my posts the other day. It was about Leo Glossary. And he said, well, it's a shame that there's no reward for working on wiki pages. And I said, so design one. Do it. It's open blockchain, like you said 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, John. You don't need any permission. There's no permission required. You want to do something, go do it on blockchain. If you have enough resource credits, you can do it.
There you go. Good stuff. Thank you for the question, David. Appreciate it. Tide and Rain is up. I'm most interested in simple, quick, and non-KYC ways to swap between coins and tokens from different blockchains. As an example, other than what I have on and connected to Hive, my other largest holding of crypto is of Pocket Coin, Pcoin, on Bastion, formerly PocketNet. I've heard of it. And I'd love to be able to sell or swap those for my Hive assets and vice versa. Well, they used to have like simple swap and stuff, but I mean, this is essentially what things like whatchamacallit is promising. The thing that Cal's always talking about. What is it?
Liquidity pool?
Thor chain,
Oh, Thor
right?
chain.
Thor chain is the big we're gonna be able to swap from everywhere to everywhere. And it's decentralized, so I'm pretty sure there's no KYC with that. That is the dream, right? The dream is to end, like Simple Swap used to be around, but that was very specific on the coins you could swap. That's how I got rid of all my library tokens too, with Simple Swap. Sold them all for Hive. So
Smart move.
Yeah, not bad. I sold them when they were like 8 cents each too. I don't even know what they're at now. Who knows? Maybe have lost money. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not sure of things that are out there, but I know that they're building, and I'm not sure if that's happening now, tomorrow, and I know nothing about those type of projects. The swap projects, I don't know anything about them. I'm very ignorant to it. I'm in my little bubble, floating on a river called Hive. So, do you know of anything that could swap?
I'm in my own bubble tied to your bubble, so I'm not far away from your bubble.
Well, hopefully, we're not floating down the river towards a waterfall, sir.
Oh well, if we are, it's either there's a ski jump and we'll take off and soar to the moon, or we'll just plummet to the bottom of the ocean. It's like that's what dedication is. We're going to ride to the top or the bottom, and ride or die, as man says.
I would recommend, though, for him to go to the Leo Discord and ask those guys, because those are the crypto savants that they know what's going on.
Yeah, Neil will be able to tell you, or addicted. Cal. They tend to pay attention to all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Appreciate it. Lisa is our final question of the show. Happy New Year, dear sir. When moon? See how she started that? She couldn't resist. She said, because I'm sure you haven't heard it in the last 15 minutes. No, only once. Does anyone know when they put the fingerprint scanner on the Hive keychain app for mobile phones, when they put it? It took a while for the scanner to work. Maybe because I have a lot of apps on my phone. I like the extra layer of protection for the most part. Is this something new they tested? I didn't even know that they had that. Did you?
No, I don't do much on.
Well, they have the pin thing, like that's what I have. It's a face print. I have the Apple phone uses my face to unlock it. I didn't even know there was a fingerprint thing. I'm looking here, settings. I didn't even know there was this. So there you go. I was not aware that they even had that. Now, yeah. Do you know? Did you know? Have you used this?
I don't use mobile, so I don't get into that. But I'll tell you what, John, you're learning a lot today. This is rather impressive. I mean,
you know what I think this is? I think it's the fingerprint scanner on her phone, and it's just getting to unlock her phone. I think that's a setting in your phone, Lisa. It's not keychain specific, unless keychain has added that. I wouldn't be able to tell you, because
I don't know how they'd be able to add that, but
yeah, that seems to be something that would be a hardware issue for the phone. I think.
Yeah, that does, unless they can somehow tap into that, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe they do. Yeah. But keychain is awesome, and I forgot to mention keychain in my little talk yesterday, my little blog post. So big shout out to keychain. If you want the amazing views experience on mobile, check out the Hive keychain browser. It's fantastic. And apparently they got some updates coming up very soon, which is going to be cool. So that is what I have to say about that. There you go, man. We did it. Anything to leave the good folks with before we set them off on their weekend adventures?
Not that I can think of.
Buy Hive, power it up, don't suck. No?
No, I think we went on enough rants for, unless there's something you want to add about Splinterlands.
I don't know. No, it's I gave it a good run, man. I was in Splinterlands for 3 years, and the big decision for me was that it was taking way too much of my time, and it didn't allow me to focus on what mattered the most to me in my community, and that was CTP and views and listeners and everything that we're building. So I gave it a lot of thought. Really took my time with it, and I just said, you know what, it's been fun. I had a blast, but I need to worry about home base. I need to worry about CTP, the community, the tribe, all the projects we've got going. So I'm just bowing out gracefully, and it's not necessarily, again. I think Splinterlands is going to go to the moon. I have no doubt in my mind. It's just, and oh, you're selling now, and why don't you wait till it's not about that for me. It's never about price for me. It's I want to be able to give my all to projects that I truly believe in. And if you've been reading my goals for 2023, I've trimmed the fat. I have the focus. I need to, when I get too much going on, I usually become a clam and shut up, and I don't get anything done. So for me, it's focus. I gotta just build what we got. So there you go. That's it. That's all I've got. Task, you good? Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave here and go back to Leo Glossary. That's talk about single focus. But it is what it is. Like you said, if you're dedicated to building something, you have to put in the time.
Yeah, man. There you go. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We will be back on the 10th, right? That is next Tuesday with D-Buzz. That'll be fun. Speaking of mobile apps, there you go. We'll see what they've got bubbling. So you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday. Toodles.
Ciao.